Hi guys, so yesterday I made this gorgeous popcorn ice cream for a few friends and it really was just incredible. Really sweet because I used toffee flavoured popcorn to infuse some flavour into it, and there was still such a huge smack of popcorn, that nutty, toasty taste of popcorn from it. It was just beautiful. I based this dessert on one that I had recently in a beautiful restaurant called Della Hunt in Dublin and served it with this salted caramel tart, the recipe for which is still to come. So for the ice cream, you start off by gently heating 125 milliliters of double cream and 250 milliliters of whole milk in a saucepan until it's gently simmering. And in a separate large bowl, you take 2 egg yolks, add 100 grams of caster sugar, and whisk that together until it's all light and combined and pale in colour and really thick. This actually will take a few minutes because there's an awful lot of sugar compared to the amount of yolk, but eventually you'll get something that looks like this. Really thick and light in colour, and everything's all combined. So now you take your simmering cream and milk mixture and very slowly add it to your yolk and sugar mixture, little bit by bit, whisking each bit in before you add the next bit. Take your time doing this because if you add all the hot milk and cream in one go, it'll scramble the eggs and you'll have really horrible lumpy ice cream, which will be disgusting. Once all the hot milk and cream has been incorporated into the yolk and sugar mixture, pour the mixture back into your saucepan and return the saucepan to the hob over a really low heat. Now, to really hamp up the popcorn flavour that is to come, I'm going to add a little pinch of sea salt flakes and stir that in, and you're going to want to keep stirring practically continuously for about 20 minutes until this custard mixture has thickened slightly, enough to lightly coat the back of a wooden spoon. You might be tempted here to turn up the heat so that it'll thicken a lot faster, but if you do that, the eggs will scramble and you don't want that in your ice cream, so just be patient, keep it low, and you'll get there eventually. So once your custard is coating the back of a wooden spoon lightly, go ahead and add 100 grams of toffee popcorn or whatever sweet popcorn you'd like. Give that a bit of a stir, allowing them all to get all nice and soft before you eventually go at it with an immersion blender or a hand blender and blend until all the popcorn kernels have been blitzed up and really infused the custard. You're then going to take it off the heat, take a freezer-proof container, line it with a fine mesh sieve, and pour your popcorn custard through it. This is going to catch all those horrible little bits of popcorn that get stuck in your throat, leaving for a really smooth and creamy custard, which will turn into a really smooth and creamy ice cream. Then scrape along the bottom of the sieve with a spoon or a rubber spatula to help all the custard get through the sieve. Eventually you'll be left with all the popcorn bits left in the sieve, but just make sure you squeeze down hard on all of them because they'll absorb an awful lot of custard and you want all that custard to become ice cream. Now, if you have an ice cream maker, go ahead and follow those instructions. I don't have one, so I would let this custard come down to room temperature before I freeze it. If you want to hurry that process along, you can sit this bowl in a sink full of cold, icy water. Once it's at room temperature, clamp the lid on the bowl and transfer it to the freezer. And let freeze for about an hour. So after about an hour, or until your custard has gone really kind of slushy and crystally around the outsides, then you take it out of the freezer and transfer it to a food processor and blitz it up until it's all nice and smooth. That should only take a minute or two before you then transfer it back into its freezer container and freeze it for another hour. And repeat this freezing and blitzing process another 2 times before you put it to bed for the night, or at least 6 hours. And make sure before you start making this ice cream that your freezer is turned up to the max so that it's at its very coldest temperature. The faster ice cream freezes, the less crystally it'll be and the more creamy smooth. Once your ice cream does get its last freeze, it might need a little bit of time to thaw out once you take it out of the freezer and want to serve it, so I'd say take it out maybe 10 minutes before you're serving your dessert. Or you could give it 30 seconds in the microwave as well, just to soften it a little bit. Thanks a million for watching, guys. I really hope you liked this recipe and I hope you try this recipe as well. If you did like this video, be sure to give me a like below and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Check me out on social media. You'll find all the links to my accounts in the description below, and you'll find the link to my blog where you'll find the full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.